お待たせいたしました。
We're sorry to have kept you waiting. Now we would like to move on to the keynote speech. From the Republic of Estonia, we have Prime Minister Taavi Rõivas. We would now like to request the presence of His Excellency.
Konnichiwa. Estonia and Japan may seem quite distant geographically, but we do share quite a few things. Some say it is the singing. Both of our languages are very musical phonetically. You like karaoke, and we love to get together with the whole country every few years for a singing festival. Some say it's sumo, as the former sumo star Barto is Estonian. But I think it's also the entrepreneurial spirit and resilient character. Also, Barto now is an entrepreneur. The main thing setting us apart a bit, of course, is the size. Estonia, has almost as many people as the city of Kyoto, or about 10 times less than the Tokyo metropolis. Same time, our territory is 20 times of Tokyo metropolis. So we are just a few for the territory. When going around the country, it may take a while before you see another Estonian coming and meeting you. But you do see the beautiful nature and trees in Estonia. 50% of the territory is covered with forest, so some say that the biggest polluters are the mobile and wireless internet networks, which together cover 100% of our territory. For the last 25 years, Estonia has enjoyed quite a ride in terms of national development. Only in 1991, we restarted from scratch. Some say rebooted our country. Today, we are the most integrated Nordic country in EU, Eurozone, NATO, OECD, and in 2019, we will apply for the non-permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council. This progress has been carried by fast economic development, even despite the two global crises during this period. And strong emergence of digital economy and digital society, the new economy in Estonia has been a big part of this success story. For example, despite our small size, we have managed to change the world by creating Skype, developed and co-founded by Estonians. One of the founders of Skype is actually here with us today. We now have Europe's biggest number of startups per capita. Some of them are taking part of this summit today and tomorrow. Thus, new economy is a chance for small countries to punch above their fate. For big countries, new economy is the way to remain big and relevant in the 21st century, when all industries and our whole life are becoming more and more digital. As the new economy will power economic growth in the 21st century, what's the role of the governments? Governments can do a lot to power the new economy emerge and grow by building an enabling environment. In my view, this environment is built on 4 pillars. The first pillar, of course, is sovereignty and national security. These are fundamental for the development of any state and nation, as well as economy, whether old or new. This stands to say that even with new economy, some things don't change. The need for national security has not vanished. We see disrespect for international law and established norms in many places of the world. Conflicts in Ukraine, Syria are ongoing and are amplified by migration and terrorism. Challenge for us in this security is that crises don't come and go. They seem to come and stay. And we do need to adapt to this new reality. Government's ability to prevent and handle crises is more and more critical success factor for development. The second pillar is ensuring a good business climate. We need this crucially in the new economy where businesses are able to freely roam around and choose the country with the best location conditions. In Estonian view, good business climate has meant and will mean staying true to the principles of open and free market and being pro-business also in the government. Business-friendly tax system is a key component in this regard, of course. Estonian tax system is easy to understand and cheap to comply with. A flat income tax rate of 20% that is only applied to distributed corporate profits, and International Tax Foundation honored us in 2015 with the title of Most Competitive Tax System among the OECD countries. To maintain good tax conditions, fiscal prudence is also a necessity. Estonia has the lowest sovereign debt in Europe, less than 10% of our GDP. Our state budget has been in balance for 2 decades. And this means that even if times are tougher, we don't have as much pressure to raise taxes. Instead, we can lower them further. Instead of repaying debt, we can spend on creating a growth environment for companies. A good business climate, of course, is not just taxes. Instead, ease of doing business matters more and more. Local entrepreneurs, startups, and foreign investors alike appreciate the great ease of doing business in our country. This ease is greatly built on Estonian values, keeping our word and being punctual, very much like Japanese. But even more importantly, the digital solutions and services we offer by government and private sector alike. In Estonia, when you start a company, you go online and it takes you 20 minutes, maximum a few hours, to set up a legally functional company this way. All the later required reporting, tax declarations, and other deeds can be handled digitally as well. All banking, of course, is done digitally. Even contracts get signed without the need for business reps to meet. They sign digitally over a distance, and you don't even need to be at the same country. In Estonia, our government vision is a zero bureaucracy government. And we are working on initiatives like introduction of electronic invoices, better data sharing between government agencies and also private sector, and of course, there is more. The aim is to automate away the red tape requirements for companies so that they would not need to ever submit a report or declaration to government ever again. Besides the general business climate, governments can do quite a bit to enhance the growth of new economy by directly aimed measures. And those measures need to be in regulation, technical infrastructure, plus skills development. This is the third pillar. In Estonia, we hit luck by putting in place the proper technical and legal infrastructure very early on. This is what led to the rise of strong digital government with a great variety of services, but also supported innovation in our business sector. This includes, most importantly, a nationwide electronic identity platform, digital or EID, as we call it. And we use the EID in all the public, but also many private sector services. And this has been the foundation of Estonia's digital success. With a digital ID, you can authenticate yourself online. You can also sign everything digitally in a fully legally valid manner. From government tax to business contracts to any applications to states by the citizens. In our law, digital signature is fully equal to handwritten one. That is how companies can sign and do sign contracts without even meeting. And this is how we get all the banking done online. And that is how, from government side, we were able to be the first country, as Mikitani-san correctly said, to have internet voting. In March 2015 parliamentary elections, 1/3 of the votes were cast online from 116 countries all over the world, including Estonian citizens voting for parliament right here in Japan. We also developed a data exchange platform which is called the X-Road. This provides the basis for companies and people to get things done in a single encounter with the government. X-Road is applied beyond public sector too. For example, the transactions in our nationwide smart grid happen over the X-Road. Such encrypted and platform-independent data exchange could be very useful in the era of Internet of Things. The way to achieve data security and interoperability for all connected devices and services. And we also have a once-only rule to cope with the X-Road. This means that according to the Estonian law, government agencies should not ask people for data that any other agency already holds. That's why in Estonia, we are most probably the only country where people love paying taxes. It takes them only 3 minutes to fill the annual tax declaration, as it comes pre-filled based on the previous records. And data is presented back to people in once-only manner, not asked again. The key role for governments in laying out the legal and technical infrastructure, of course, is built on trust. Without trust, nobody would be using digital services of government or new economy companies. And that is why privacy and cybersecurity must be dealt with. Yet, in Estonian experience, we know that they can be dealt with. They should not be made excuses not going digital. Our digital government is built on legal principle that citizens own their data. They can practically trace any use of their data, even prohibit third parties of using it. With just a few clicks in my personal online health record, I can see who has accessed my data and when, and with another click, I can limit the access to next doctors. With such safeguards, people are the big brother of the government. The challenge for governments is to be agile enough to keep up with fast-changing technology and businesses. Because new tech and business models disrupt existing industries, these often lobby hard against the necessary changes. Well, case in point is sharing economy, a topic that has already been risen here today. For example, the fights over Uber. In Estonia, our government does not fight against the change, but tries to make most out of it. For example, we are currently working on a law to make ride-sharing services legal in Estonia. This will be first country in the EU to do so. Plus, with tax office, to make it easy for drivers to comply with taxes and thereby support growth of those sectors. So, the key to the future is not simply to allow for change, but enable it. Besides infrastructure, there also have to be, of course, right skills available in the economy. Traditionally, it has meant digital literacy, giving people the skills to go online and to use the services. Already today, this alone is not enough, although we still have to work with some adults who are not online. 10% of the adults are not online, for example, in Estonia. Instead, we have to ensure that children and adults can learn core advanced computing skills through their life. And in my country, we were among the first in the world to bring coding classes to all the stages of general education. Fourth pillar for supporting growth of new economy is governments embracing the digital revolution themselves. In Estonia, this has been a no-brainer. Estonia does not have too many people or natural riches besides the very beautiful nature itself. Therefore, we have had to be smart, innovative, and find unconventional solutions to be more effective as a nation and as a state. And this brings the benefit of efficiency for the public sector. We were able to provide higher level of service for less time and money, also with less staff. For example, we have been able to reduce the staff of our tax administration while ensuring fairer tax competition for all companies and better revenues for the state. But it also brings a digital economy dividend. Our digital government efforts have contributed to the emergence of new economy in Estonia, a strong ICT sector and startup scene. Our companies have turned Estonia's digital development experience into exports of solutions and know-how to other sectors and countries across the globe, from Finland to United States, to Singapore, to Dubai. Estonian digital expertise is more and more also becoming the basis for EU-wide digital single market solutions. To embrace digital more, I believe governments also have to change the ways of policy making and service delivery, start acting more like startups do. And in Estonia, we piloted this approach with e-residency. We decided to add to the 1.3 million people we already have in Estonia, 10 million virtually. Anyone in the world who wants to operate out of Estonia can become a resident without leaving the country. While e-residents don't have full rights as citizens, they cannot vote in Estonia nor travel or use this kind of documents as travel documents, the government issues you a digital identity that grants you full rights digitally to start and handle companies in Estonia and therefore all over EU. And we have already close to 10,000 e-residents from 130 countries, and the number keeps growing fast. And I'm proud to say that Prime Minister Abe and Mikitani-san are among our e-residents. The program is an example of governmental startup, and anyone here in this room can apply for an e-residency. You can do that without even visiting Estonia. You can go to Estonian embassy in Tokyo. You only need to meet the embassy staff once. You apply for the e-residency online, and you only meet them for verification of identity. And as I said, you only do it once. After that, you're good to go. And you can use legally functioning digital services in Estonia and all of EU. And with this, we went, of course, live very fast, and this is why it can be called a governmental startup. We did it so that we needed to test the market and develop services very quickly. Usually governments want to have everything ready before they launch anything. We did it differently this time. And we can say that e-residency is still in public beta phase. We work closely with our users, with the private sector and government agencies to improve the initial services and launch new ones. And we're not afraid to go live fast. We're not afraid to make some mistakes as a government, but learn from them and do corrections also fast, much like startups do. To conclude, Estonia is very happy to collaborate on both governmental and business level with Japan. With my number, Japan is already a bold pioneer among the large countries with a nationwide identity number and a digital ID program. My number is also great example how big Japan and small Estonia can do great things together based on sharing of know-how and solutions. Jointly, we could do so much more, from smart cities to smart government to disrupting any industries into the new economy. Japan Association of New Economy has had a great role to play in this collaboration. I thank Jane for inviting so many inspiring leaders and ideas of new economy together to this summit, as well as giving me and Estonia the floor. Thank you very much. Arigato. Thank you.